let's move on to what's happening in Kumasi, or which is what we're expecting to kick off soon in Kumasi, with a demonstration by some members of some political parties against the EC's proposal of a new. In fact, the EC's plans, because it's not a proposal, it's been approved by Parliament. So the EC's plans to establish a new biometric voters register. Now, I want us to do something slightly different. So instead of going back to legislate the whole, whether we need a register or not, I want us to look at what would be a solution that all parties would accept. What, in your views, would be a solution that all parties would accept? Because at the moment, some are in favor of a new register, some are not. Where's the middle ground? And I'll start with you, Mr.
Thank you very much. Just briefly, if this were the positioning of the NDC on the payments that my brother spoke about in the last discussion, then it's rather hypocritical, because we were in this country when the filing fee for the presidential candidate of the NDC was set so high that the Council of Elders had to intervene for a reduction.
I think
the justification
made a reference,
but the justification then was that if you aspire to lead the party, either at the constituency or at the national level, you must have the capacity to generate funds. People must believe in you, okay? And so, please,
I'm just asking.
You should be telling us. So that's why I'm saying that let's not talk from both sides of our mouth. Let's be principled and let's not be hypocritical, because the explanation and the justification that was given was that if you're a leader, you didn't. So we saw people organize for Kaya people to come and contribute one CD, and so to create the impression that the money was not coming from one individual. So if that was not a gimmick and we thought that it was the real thing, then we should stick to that position and stop being hypocritical. Because if you're a leader, you want to lead a constituency or a country, and you cannot mobilize resources to execute a campaign, then I'm afraid there are questions that you have to ask. But going forward, I think that could you, if the shots on your screen is what the demonstration, or what a friend describes to me this morning as a keep fit exercise that the NDC intends to engage in Kumasi, if the shots on your screen are what we are expecting, then this is a flop, and rightly so. It's a flop because it's past 7:30.
You don't think it's too early to judge?
No, I've been here. I've been a mobilizer. I've been at this. Both in students' days and in politics.
Okay.
Why I didn't go to school?
Well, I vetted him and he failed. I vetted him. He couldn't pass.
Well, so I'm saying that could you, even you, the Erasmus who was reporting from Erastus, the field, yeah. Erastus was also expressing surprise, and I saw it's a flop. I mean, and you see, it is because gradually the people are seeing the light. But you spoke about what the solution should be, and we shouldn't get into the justification. I wasn't even going to attempt to get into the justification because I do not work for the Electoral Commission. So I do not speak for the Electoral Commission. For me, the only solution is to insist on the rules of engagement, is to insist that the Constitution is respected. And it is me and you and Mr. Mutala here, it is our civic duty to stand behind state institutions such as the Electoral Commission. The responsibility of compilation or otherwise of a register is solely vested in the Electoral Commission and not political parties.
Has this always been the view of the NPP?
No,
regardless of
it's always been my view.
The Electoral Commission?
It has always been my view.
Okay.
But I believe that you can advocate your case. You can talk about it, okay? And the position, the history, if you are fair to the history, is that when the Let My Vote Count, and for let's exaggerate it, the MPP wanted a new register, the Electoral Commission said no, the time was not right for a new register. They backed off and allowed the system to go. So we used the old register. But right now we are seeing the NDC trying to suggest to us that because they say so must it be, or this is how it must be, so must it be. That was not the position of the NPP. Otherwise, the 2016 elections would not have been held because we wanted a new register.
So how is NDC's advocacy different?
So we didn't have, but the insistence, you heard what was captured on tape of people saying that we will insist. We have gone to Nigeria to learn some new tricks, and we must ensure that the register doesn't happen. The Electoral Commission has announced that, look, the registration is going to happen. You have had your say. Now allow the Electoral Commission to have its way because they are the ones mandated by the Constitution. But to want to continue to stampede the Electoral Commission and to force the hand of the Electoral Commission. Look, if we allow these dangerous precedents of people mobilizing to determine what the Electoral Commission should do, if we allow these dangerous precedents to set, at the end of polls one day, we'll wake up and have people mobilizing to direct the Electoral Commission and the commissioner as to who they should declare as winners of elections. That cannot be allowed to happen in this country. In any case, having said all that, we are yet to have no serious advocacy. No serious issues have been raised. The Electoral Commission says that their vendors, for instance, say that the equipments that they are using end of life, including the laptops, and that they cannot be relied upon. As we speak now, no serious evidence has been adduced to contradict that fact. But we are supposed to...
But has there been evidence to support that fact? Have we been provided with evidence to support
it? The vendors have written to... What better evidence can we get than the vendor, the manufacturer of the equipment, rise to say that this has come to an end of life?
This is the vendor who doesn't even allow the nation of Ghana to access the data that they have compiled.
So they are no longer the vendors?
No, but the point is, why would you be in such a haste to accept what they say without evidence?
But that is the evidence. They have written to you. They have written to you.
Okay, all right.
They have written to you.
I want us to quickly go back to...
and then they speak of cost. Say, let's do the refurbishment. The Electoral Commission has come to do the financials, and they have explained to us that that route ends up being a little more expensive than even going for entirely new machines with added functionality and so on and so forth. Okay. Every one of the questions have been intelligently and eloquently answered. But the position of the NDC, look, from the word go, you recall what the national chairman of the NDC said, captured on tape, about how they should denigrate the Electoral Commission, go after them, and so on and so forth.
If the national chairman said that,
yeah, he did.
You allowed him. He denied he ever said that. You allowed him.
He
denied he ever made those.
Well, I heard his voice.
To denigrate them. He said that he never, it was doctored.
This is true. This is true. There was a denial of that tape.
But
there was a denial of that tape.
I heard his voice.
Yes, but there was a denial of that tape. Let's put that on record. Let's quickly go to the Ashanti region where my colleague Erastus Asare-Donkor is standing by. Hopefully we have a better connection now. We can see how
and hopefully a bigger crowd now
shaping up. Erastus, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So what's the update?
It's still the same.
There's so much noise here, of course, it's expected, but if you can hear me, let me go straight ahead. So you can see that quite a number of people have gathered here at the moment, so the organizers are thinking of moving out at the moment. And if you see to my right here, some of the placards that they've been able to gather, this one says, people say, well, get the new register now. Paramount Gold customers don't waste 800 million on needless register. New voters register is needless. UNDP, EU, USAID advise the members to stop. Quite a number of them they have put up here, all aimed at one goal. They say that, meaning that they will not allow the EC to go ahead with the new voters register. I must say that behind me, we have quite a number of policemen and women, some of them in full riot gear, and gathered here at the moment. I've also seen quite a number of them who are also in plain clothes, in place of the demonstrators ready to join. A short while ago, I was speaking with a police PRO, and he was telling me that they are not changing the rules. They are ensuring that the agreement they have with the organizers are strict, and that there will be no disturbances. And so, event, security-wise, is very packed. I can count about more than 50 policemen and women who have gathered here at the moment to ensure that there is sanity. And so, as you can see, we are are now seeing people close to about 1,000 gathered here at the moment. They are saying that more people will join as we go. So very soon we are going to go on the street at the moment. But let me find out from them who have gathered here, why they have gathered here, whether they even have a message. Tell me, get into our hand there. Well, he says that he cannot pay his children's school fees. That's one reason why he's here. Again, he also thinks that the new register is needless. They need the money for something else. And so that is why he's joining the demonstration. Let me find out from him as well. Why are you here today?
I'm here to also support the no new register.
Why do you want to support it? Is it because your party is doing it or something else?
The register is credible. We just recently used it for almost 40,000 people. 36,000 unit members, committee members, and 6,000 assembly members were voted by this register. Just recently. It's credible. It is used for winning government. It is used previous. It is there to pay.
What will a new register mean to you?
It's a waste of money because 800 million Ghana cedis can pay 100 million per constituency. Can support the youth from various communities to get jobs.
Who was
wasting 6 million cedis for? Well, the constituencies are earning for jobs, and yet you didn't pay 1 million per constituency.
Images from earlier before people.
So that they use it for the youth in the various constituencies to get jobs to do.
Well, so quite a number of views here and diverse opinions as to why people are joining the demonstration. But key amongst them is that they will allow the EC to waste, in their own words, waste money when they register they think it's credible.
Erastus, so you're estimating numbers at about 1,000 at the moment?
Yeah, exactly. I'm estimating about 1,000 people at the moment. More people are joining as we go. And so it's possible that more people will join others. But as of now, I must say that quite over 1,000 gathered here at the Ababu School Park.
All right. Now, we must tell our viewers that the images you are viewing at the moment were recorded earlier. We will get some live images from Erastus in just a moment. But Erastus, why don't you tell us a bit about the route that this procession will take? Tell us about the route that the demonstration will take through the city. What
form will it take?
What route will you take through Kumasi? The route, okay. The route, yeah.
Well, the morning, when events like this occur, and then it's a bit politically people tend to stay indifferent in this part of Ghana. And so you can see that a lot on the streets of Kumasi at the moment. There are people who perhaps hold the same views as these people who are gathered here, but then they will not show it. They prefer to stay indifferent and mind their own business. And so it's business as usual on the streets of Kumasi. People are going about their normal duties. And to them, well, they have a right to demonstrate, and they are demonstrating. And so that is what we have to generally across Kumasi.
Which way will they go for this demonstration? Which way through Kumasi? Can you hear me?
You're talking about the route?
Yes, the route.
That they have agreed with the police from here. We are moving from Abuabu Post Office right to the Zongo Police Station. We will take that to the Labour Roundabout, enter at Asafu Interchange, get into town proper on the Goddenberg Road, and then pass through some few personal streets of Atum and get to Pampaso, Kenesia, and then move around, come back, pass to the same route, and come back to the Jubilee Park where they will address the crowd. And so that's the route we are working on at the moment.
Erastus, we're going to stay on this all the way through, so we'll get more updates from you as the procession continues through Kumasi. Thank you for now. Yeah, so those were some earlier recorded images of the demonstration that is starting now in Kumasi. Love FM's Erastus Asare-Donko reporting that about 1,000 people have started off this demonstration, which will go through some of the principal streets of Kumasi. And we're talking about it, the reason why this demonstration is happening today, and it's all to do with the Electoral Roll and the EC's plans to establish a new biometric voters register for 2020. So again, we're trying to find the middle ground. I don't know whether you really pointed us towards the middle ground.
There's a constitution that must be respected. There's no middle ground. The constitution must be respected.
Okay.
That's all.
I'll give you a chance to rebut, but Mr. Mutala.
A chance to, okay. It's interesting sometimes when I listen to my friends in the MPP, they keep on talking about the constitution must be respected. Any argument that is being made against this belligerence of Jean Mensah and Dr. Bosman and the MPP is anchored on the same constitution.
Just those two?
Yes, it's anchored on, because why? You have a deputy who happened to be my lecturer, and I have said that he was a fine lecturer, but he's a disastrous deputy EC boss who in the referendum came out and said people should vote yes. I mean,
that's not true.
Please.
That's never true. He didn't say
that. Was clarified.
He didn't say that.
That was clarified that he
that.
Actually did not say.
But what did
that.
he say?
We
heard the voice and
he made arguments for both.
What argument? I'm saying that why is it that he should have provided us with the audio in which he said that.
That audio was provided.
Why? He said that he told people to vote for you. You listened to his interview on City FM. The kind of, and strangely, very fine man. Mind you, he was my senior in Legon. When he knew that he was a TESCON member, I knew, and he can't deny that fact. And he happened to be my lecturer at the political science. But you see, every argument that is being made, they try to reduce it to NDC and NPP. Are the CSOs also NDC? The myriad of people who are calling on the EC to respect the interests of the Ghanaian people and respect the law, do also NDC. And every single argument, they argue using Article 45. Go and read Article 196. The Article 45 doesn't give the EC a carte blanche. That every institution, including the president, the fact that the president has executive powers, Article 196 and other provisions in the Constitution provide checks and balances as to how you demonstrate that particular power. The fact that Article 45 indeed assails the independence of the Electoral Commission. Article 196 says that it must not be exercised, that right, that power, arbitrarily. It must not be capriciously done. Now, Dr. Afarijan, it was the same Article 45 that clothed Dr. Afarijan. But he saw the need to ensure that we had IPAC. The fact that you have the right to do that doesn't mean that you can just do it. Because you are dealing...
So what are the checks and balances here for an EC that wants to compile a new register?
First and foremost, even the Electoral Commission itself says they have set up an eminent, if I have forgotten the title given to...
Eminent Advisory
Board. And the advisory board or committee is urging political parties to indeed exercise patience. They will see how they find a solution to this. You find their spokesperson on Newsfire who said that it's a done deal. Is this an Electoral Commission that is willing to find a middle ground? Even with they urging political parties that, look, exercise patience, we have been set up by the same Electoral Commission, and we'll look into it. They came on Newsfile and said, well, it's a done deal. I listened to your station. I listened to your station on my way. And I listened to the journalist. I don't know who interviewed him. Asked him. So he said, yes, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. Now, how can something be a done deal, yet you're still creating what I describe as cartoon scenario reality? That yes, there is some solution. We'll find discussion. We'll all try and resolve this diplomatically. Then, in as much as you prick that outwardly, but inwardly, you've taken your final decision. I am saying that that is a justification enough to tell you that the Electoral Commission is deceiving the people of this country. But you see, permit me to just read this. This was captured in the Republic of Plato. As it was rewritten by Cicero, he may not understand some of this.
Plato's Republic.
Both. Republic, the Republic.
I may not understand.
Yes, you may not.
Because you are going to speak Greek.
No, you may not appreciate it. I can understand the language, but I'll provide you. If you read Cicero's book, you know what?
You are unbelievable.
This is what he said. And I'm just going to read two statements that Cicero made in his rewriting of the Republic at the time when he had problems with Julius Caesar and Pompeo and their style of rulership. He says, I make no claim to be a prophet, but this much I have observed, that whenever a thing seems at its zenith, you may be sure its destruction has already started. That is one. The last one, which is very interesting. He said that politics is the most noble of all callings, and that there is no nobler motive for making public life than the resolution not to be ruled by wicked men, that no individual or combination of individuals should be allowed to become too powerful. The framers of the 1992 Constitution, I believe, were conscious of the fact that apart from what has been said in several centuries ago, that you don't give someone so much powers such that that power cannot be checked.
Hey.
We elected, yes, you don't give someone so much powers.
Our executive has power.
I'm saying that even the executive power is being checked. President Nanado cannot just get up and do anything. Professor Montiasco's proposition of separation of powers and theory of check and balances is to take care of that. Even in an executive powers, there are checks as to how you demonstrate those powers. But I'm saying that we elected His Excellency the President. We didn't elect the EC boss and her deputies. The president was elected by the people of this country, who indeed had the authority to appoint any other person, including the EC. The sovereignty of this country doesn't lie in an individual or group of persons. It lies in the Ghanaian people. Now, when Dr. Afarijan, who was also clothed with this particular provision, Article 45, was conscious of the fact that you are dealing with sensibilities, you are dealing with different interests, you are dealing with the safety and sanctity of this country. So there is the need for something to be done. The NDC have raised series of concerns about this. Now, let's not just argue over NDC. Leave NDC aside. What about the civil society organizations? What about other religious bodies? What about other independent, state institutions who have all indeed weighed into this? The EC has taken a position, but I remind my brother and those who are watching that we have seen tyrants who have ruled this world before. They ended up in disaster. And perhaps, if I can help, maybe he will quote. But in the Quran, God says that وَيَمْكُرُونَ وَيَمْكُرُ اللَّهُ وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الْمَاكِرِينَ. And I know that it is even in all scriptures, both in the Bible and the Torah, that they plan and Allah plan. But Allah is the master of all plans. You guys will lose the elections. It doesn't matter what you do. But I'm saying that they can call this a bluff. If there is any chaos and anarchy in this country, 3 people will be held absolutely responsible. His Excellency the President, Jim Mensah and Dr. Bosman Asari. They will be held absolutely responsible
for the actions of people who create chaos and anarchy.
Absolutely. You see, he's talking about the fact that the MPP, why? In 2004, the late Jake declared MPP the winners. You see, some of you don't even appreciate the political history of this country. If you do not know, at least do some reading. He declared the MPP as the winners of the elections long before the EC boss did so. Now you sit here and then you tell me.
Was that similar to the sort of comfortable lead?
But comfortable lead doesn't mean declaration. Why would you even compare it? He said we have won the election.
Or cruising to victory.
He said we have. Why would you even, in the wildest of imagination, compare this to? I am talking about a national chairman of a political party who held press conference and declared themselves winners.
So the difference is national chairman and general secretary.
They don't read, and if they read, they don't.
All right.
Do some reading.
Okay.
All right.
Why he wants to come, then I'll come.
You see,
we have 2 minutes. I'll share it between the two of you. So go ahead.
The positioning of the NDC is anchored on some bitterness against Madame Jim Bosman and
Jean Mensah.
Jean Mensah and Mr. Bosman. Please, let's get serious.
Please, we don't have a lot of time, so please allow him to.
Madame Jean Mensah and Mr. Bosman and so on and so forth. And you clearly can tell from the positioning, going back to the student days of somebody and claiming rather falsely that they belong to TESCON. And it's irrelevant to the discussion. It's irrelevant to the discussion. Even misrepresenting and lying about what the man is supposed to have said. Look, I just made the point to you that from the very word go, the NDC's positioning towards the Electoral Commission is clear, is known. And so all these irrelevant quotations being brought doesn't have any bearing on the discussion. The argument about checks and balances, the argument about checks and balances, it is a fallacy for anybody to think that it is for the NDC or any civil society group to check the Electoral Commission. It's for the courts. All right. It is for the institutions of state. And so, again, I haven't seen, look, in the history, the political history, the true history, not the manufactured history that people want to put out to please themselves. If you check the history of electoral commissions in this country, you would not find any that has come close to being as consultative. Check the number of IPAC meetings that this commission has had. This is the same electoral commission that went as far as to consulting with leadership of political parties, including former President John Dramani Mahama. Look at the relationship that the Electoral Commission has with the media. When Madam Charlotte Osei was Electoral Commissioner and the logo was going to be changed,
we've got less than a minute now.
Who was consulted?
We've got less than a minute now.
Who challenged Madam Charlotte Osei even on the matter of a logo? And I'm saying to you that if you want to check, you go to court. It doesn't lie on your mouth.
Please, you're taking his time.
To want to insist that there are checks and balances. The Electoral Commission has been given.
I'm being told we've run out of time.
The Electoral Commission kind of noise and talking plenty.
Please,
let me be very clear.
20 seconds, I beg you, because we've run out of time.
If you do not
Please allow him.
appreciate check and balance, don't go there. It is not only cost. You
will check.
No.
Why is it that Parliament will hold the executive responsible?
Because the Constitution says so.
Court. You just said court. You don't know.
In the matter of the
arrogance, you don't know the activity.
I don't think this
You
thing
said court.
is going to end in a friendly way. But let's thank Pius Hadzide, the Deputy Information Minister, Mr. Murtala Mohammed, former Deputy Trade Minister, and NDC parliamentary candidate for Tamale Central. Now, when we come back, this is what we're going to talk about. Of course, that tragic accident that happened on the way to Takrady. It will be time for us to talk about it when we return.